What's going on, guys? It's Brandon. So good morning, good afternoon. Wanted to reach out here and give you guys a little bit of update on the Zora that's testing at the ring. It's the Zora all-wheel drive, and it might be the Zora motor, but I don't think that's the Zora body. And we've talked about this before, that General Motors is using a body that at least flows air through the front end. I believe that there's a very high possibility that that body is the Grand Sport. We're going to talk about why the Grand Sport has to happen for General Motors, since the E-Rays are A, not selling well, and or B, however you want to look at it, not being produced very well by General Motors. The Grand Sport is the far more profitable vehicle for General Motors to sell, because then they don't have to put batteries and all-wheel drive motors in it and everything, and they can still charge $100,000 plus for the things with the options. Okay, so basically what they're doing is they're selling you guys on the idea that there's all this value in the car because it's the car that you thought was the zr1. You see, so they're playing a Jedi mind trick. So they're killing a couple birds with one stone. They're elevating the value of the Grand Sport, but they're also, if this plays out, and that is the Grand Sport body, they're also giving themselves a way to test the zr1 powertrain without revealing the full zr1 body yet, which I've explained will have fender vents like the C8R race car, most likely. Not exactly the same, but similar. Okay, so the zr1 is really going to be a beautiful car. Why wouldn't General Motors do that, So anyway, so we've coined the term the Corvette cult of cluelessness. And basically it's anybody, this is really a good line in the sand situation to prove who the Corvette of cluelessness actually is. Okay, anyone who's not willing to entertain the possibility, notice I didn't say fact, but the possibility that there is a Grand Sport coming next, and that body you're seeing is not actually the Zora, and that body's actually the Grand Sport body, okay, or pieces of the Grand Sport body anyway, and they're using that to test the ZR1 and the Zora powertrain, and that there is more than likely, logically, a Grand Sport coming, because that is the more profitable car, okay, because of, so just so you guys understand, you say, no, Brandon, the ZR1 is a more profitable car for General Motors. Not if the tooling is exclusive to the ZR1 and they don't produce that many of them. In that case, the ZR1's not more profitable than a mass-produced Grand Sport would be, because the Grand Sport, the tooling is the expensive part, and now you have those costs amateurized across more vehicle production, okay, with the Grand Sport. And then if you can even share parts between the Grand Sport and the ZR1, now you've really amateurized the price. Now the ZR1 can become more profitable for you. So anyway, another thing that I've mentioned, other than just the Grand Sport, is that there's a 2025 and a half refresh coming from General Motors on the C8 lineup. And everybody says, ooh, the 2025 and a half refresh is going to be the interior. I'm the one who's been saying there's a good possibility that it's the exterior, and that those coves could be across both the Z06, the Grand Sport, and even the base Stingrays. They could add ram air to all of them through those side coves, or they could add extra brake cooling through all of them. And then you got the track package, okay? So I've been explaining this. The reason why manufacturers do a 2025 and a half year revision is because they want to fool people into thinking that there's no revision coming. That way it doesn't hurt the sales over the summer. And General Motors probably figured out a clever way to test the revision products by saying, here's the ZR1, when in reality it's just the revision products for the 2025 and a half. That way it doesn't hurt the summer sales and early fall sales of the C8 regular lineup, the Stingrays, the Z06s, okay, the E-Rays. Those don't get hurt. But where General Motors messed up, and as we've explained before, if General Motors wants to tell a lie that it's the ZR1, okay, at least don't hurt the values by saying that the ZR1's a 2025. Tell the truth that the ZR1 is going to be a 2026, okay? Or tell the truth that the ZR1 is going to be a 2025 and a half last spring when you start releasing this 2025 ZR1 coming, okay? Let people know that it's going to be a very late production car, otherwise you're hurting the value of Z06s. But the only person who told you that 2025 and a half truth is Conti, because he actually has connections. Speed Phenom doesn't have connections in GM who tell him anything. Justin at Corvette Obsessed, Horsepower Obsessed, he doesn't have any connections to tell him anything inside GM. He has dealer connections. Whoop-de-doo. Okay. Keith Cornett, John Elegant, all these people at Corvette Forum, people at GM Authority, whether they have Corvette inside connections at General Motors or not, they're definitely not telling us the truth that there's going to be this 2025 and a half model year refresh. Okay. They're not telling us the truth that there's a very high likelihood that a Grand Sport's coming and that you've probably already seen some components of the Grand Sport and you don't even know it. Okay. So they're not telling you the truth. And in perpetuating General Motors ZR1 lie of 2025 ZR1 lie, they have destroyed the C8 Z06 values, which was what my whole gripe was about this in the very beginning last fall when everybody was on the fence. Is that a Grand Sport? Is that a ZR1? What is it? I was like, guys, that's a Grand Sport. The ZR1 is not coming yet. I said either that's a Grand Sport or the Grand Sport's yet to be revealed, but the ZR1's not coming yet. If the car at the ring is the ZR1, it won't be here till 2026 at least, guys. Okay? I explained that there's a sedan coming, a CUV coming, and a CUT, or the terminology that General Motors uses for the new three vehicles. They're going to be built in Lansing, Michigan, at the old Blackwing factory. They share powertrains with the Buick Lyric, okay? Or the Cadillac Lyric, I should say, not Buick, but Cadillac Lyric. So anyway, just wanted to be transparent with you guys. That's what's going on. So yes, there's an article out from Corvette blogger Keith about how the car was spotted at the ring and it's the Zora. That might be the powertrain, Keith. That's not the full body. It'll be amazing when Keith can tell the whole story of possibilities and really teach people things, but he doesn't want to. See ya. He's positive that the Grand Sport's not a possibility. He's positive that the, body that you're seeing is absolutely the Zora. It is absolutely the ZR1. He's positive. That's why he keeps reporting it. The Corvette cult of cluelessness. See ya.